Nathaniel.
Hello, Catherine. How are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for talking. How are you?
Good, good, good. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day indeed.
Yes, you're dressed for it, so that's cool. Now,
It was sort of by accident, but then I realized, and I went, oh, I guess that works. The Irish in me is coming out, I guess.
there you go. There you go. Bottoms up. Now, congratulations on High Ground arriving on digital March 18th. I've already watched this film. I very much enjoyed it. I liked it because it's like an homage to Rio Bravo and Assault on Precinct 13. Was that also what you found fascinating when you first read the script? What was your first impression of this project?
I really found the script to be what stood out to me most was how much it's a beautiful story about community. And it's, in the world we live in today, it can be so divisive that seeing a story where, yes, everyone has their differences and everyone sort of has their own opinions and different perspectives. But ultimately, when it comes down to the wire, this community comes together to support each other. And I think we forget about that sometimes in this world we live in. And I hope that if people take anything away from this film, that it's a reminder that how important that can be for just survival in this case, but maybe so in the real world too.
And a lot of your fans, a lot of us know you best for playing Mia Queen in Arrowverse and also for playing Clary Frey in Shadowhunter series. And in this film, High Ground, you play another character who can also handle herself, Cassie Becker. So it got me wondering, Catherine, why are you drawn to playing badass women again and again? What do you find fun about it?
Well, I do think part of that is just it tends to be what I get called for these days. They need a tiny blonde lady who can kick butt. I get the phone calls sometimes, which I'm very grateful for. It's something I love, and I'm very grateful for the McGuire brothers stunt team out of Toronto who taught me everything I know about fighting and weapons work and martial arts and all of these other things that I continue to use to this day. But for me, I it's kind of my favorite thing is to find the strength in the character, whether or not it's on the page at first. And Cassie was no exception to that. She was someone who, when I first read the script, she was in there, but I kept going back to the scene that Nathaniel is tied up in the bathroom, and Cassie's the one person that brings him a glass of water and makes him feel comfortable. And she also holds his feet to the fire and tells him what for about what she really thinks about what he's done and what it's caused and everything else. And she's so, as another journalist said today, spicy about it and unafraid to speak her mind. And I think that's where Cassie's strength came from. And I was very grateful that the writers were so open to being collaborative and developing Cassie together, but bringing out more of that in her to make her that kind of immovable object that goes up against the unstoppable force of chaos that's coming this way, being the kind of emotional stronghold for everyone in the film and literally looking death in the face and just going, no, that's not happening. We're not doing this today. We're going to make it out of this. We have a life to live. And I thought that was really beautiful.
Now, I know you are a very well-educated woman, Catherine. Graduated high school early, got a business degree, master's degree, and you seem very, very skilled at weaponry. Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, which one's more challenging, handling a 12 gauge shotgun in this film or handling bow and arrow?
Oh, it depends. I think the most challenging thing is probably my favorite thing, which is knife work. That's
Oh.
my favorite kind of fighting. I get to do a little bit of it in Air Force One Down, but and I get to do a lot of it on Shadowhunters. But it's that very intricate puzzle of a fighting language that exists in so many different martial arts, and there's so many different ways of doing it. But it all ultimately comes down to physics and spatial relations and using someone's force against them, which as a tiny lady who fights is very useful to me. But it's also the hard brain teaser of a fight that my nerdiness loves.
Even if it's just a prop, I don't know if it was. That shotgun must have had a kick to it, didn't it? I mean, like to your shoulder?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately on set anymore, most of the time you're dry firing a weapon, which means there's no kick to it. But
Mm.
uh, but I've certainly had my fair share of time firing different kinds of firearms and knowing what that feels like, regardless of whether or not it's there on the day. So it definitely was a heavy duty situation there for sure.
And that accent, was that your hometown Kansas accent? No?
A little bit, a little bit. Actually, I was born in North Carolina and lived in Georgia for a little while. So that's a little bit more where that came from. Which, because when I first learned to speak, I actually had a Southern accent and then lost it along the way as I moved to Kansas City and beyond. But that's definitely in me somewhere.
Mhm. I have actually interviewed your co-star, Oscar winner Jon Voight. Lovely man, one of the friendliest celebs I've ever chatted with. What was it like working with a screen legend like Jon Voight? Did he bestow some acting wisdom on you in between takes or anything like that?
Oh, it was an absolute legend. I mean, John is just the greatest. We had so much fun working together, and he was so welcoming and warm and just really willing to play and to find those relationships together, which I think was so helpful given that it is a small town and these people have known each other their whole lives, and really are have that closeness that only people who are that familiar with each other would have. I the thing with John is he's really wonderful, and you just get him talking, and he suddenly goes off into stories about all the amazing sets and filmmakers and people and things that he's worked on. And I love nothing more than to sit and listen to the history of our industry.
And that third act in this movie, the attack on the sheriff's office, talk to me about the challenges of filming that entire sequence. Was it filmed over the course of several nights or one night? And how challenging was that compared to the other action sequences you've done before?
I mean, the filming of everything, the sheriff's office, we were just kind of prepping and leaving. But then when the real attack came on the house, it was a lot of fun to film. It took us a couple weeks to get all those shots from the interiors and the exteriors and upstairs, downstairs, and everything in between. Um, but what was great is, you know, Bulgaria, their film community is so fantastic that you really they have all the facilities there. So that house existed entirely on its own on set, on the studio lot. So we had it was home turf, and we were able to just utilize every element of it possible, down to inserting breakaway glass into the windows of the upstairs. So when that glass breaks as we're running out of that room, that's actually happening in real time,
Wow.
which takes a lot of faith, trust, and pixie dust, as it were. But we made it happen.
No, man, you know what? I'm gonna tell everybody go see this movie, but Catherine, I can't let you go without asking you this. Like I said earlier, we are big fans of Mia Smoke or Mia Queen on Arrowverse. Do you ever miss playing a superhero? And did you ever ponder, man, if only I got to play that role longer instead of just on the final couple of years of that show?
Oh, 100%. I think about that almost daily. I mean, it's such a special character to me, and the writers took such beautiful care of her over the years. I had a ball, and yes, I do wonder because William, my brother, is still missing, and Mia's not going to rest till she finds him. But look, you know, I think the world of DC is great, and having gone on to so many different shows in that world, I would love to put on the suit again. So I don't know if James Gunn wants to bring the Green Arrow into his universe of films, sign me up. I volunteer as tribute.
Yes, definitely. I could totally see a spin-off. Now,
It's already made. Let's go.
let's go. Let's go. All right, for my fans at home, go check out High Ground, arriving on digital March 18th. Catherine, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, Nathaniel.